Hi, this is part 2 of our fundamentals in both chipping and putting. This video focuses on the putting aspect, and so we're going to talk about the fundamentals of what it is to make a stroke, how to set up, how to posture your body correctly over the ball, how to make a repeatable putting stroke. Both of these videos are in conjunction then with the face-to-face class that we'll have in a couple of days. So, putting. Putting is thought of to be one of the easiest aspects of golf. Unfortunately, it's actually one of the hardest because any slight variation in the putter and the path that it's on, or the club face position, can send a ball off our intended line very quickly, and one minute little adjustment can add up to, in a 20-30 foot putt, can be many feet. And so being absolutely precise with putting is imperative to be a good putter. You've also got to be able to read the greens, tell whether the slope is sideways, uphill, downhill, all those variations, and be able to use your creative mind to be able to understand what the ball's going to do on your intended target line to the hole. Distance control is also very difficult. We've got to know, just like chipping, where we talked about the speed and the length of the stroke, it's the same in putting. So the speed and the length determines distance. We have to be able to determine that on a different putting surface. It's grass, but every golf course has a different speed. And so very quickly we've got to understand, learn, and adapt and be very flexible to know those speeds. If we just play the same golf course all the time, we could get probably pretty good. But golf isn't like that. We want to play at different places, so we have to learn how to adapt. All right, so let's look at the club. So the golf club for putting is very different to all the others. Yes, it has a shaft and a grip, but the putter face, and I've got one that's called a mallet. You can see it's slightly bigger. All of them, they come in all different shapes and sizes. The bigger the putter like this, just know that you're wanting then to do more of a straight back, straight through stroke. The smaller the actual putter head, so if it was only this size, typically that's because you want to arc your stroke. So we want more of a pronounced in to in, and what we call a toe releasing stroke. We talked about that in the handout that I sent. So I want to be consistent, and that's why I chose a mallet. I want to have think of a more straight back, straight through. There is still going to be a slight arc to my stroke that happens naturally, but I don't want to think about it. It'll happen in my stroke just because of the way I'm set up. So the face of the putter looks like it's just straight up and down. It's not. It actually has this one has about 3 to 4 degrees of loft this way. Most putters have at least 5 to 60 degrees of loft, and none of them have 0. So none of them are straight up, even though they look it. The ball, once you hit it, has to come up on top of the blades of grass and then start rolling. And that's why we need a little bit of loft, but that's getting really technical. So let's go and get down onto the putting green and let me do some fundamentals for you. All right, I've got a ruler here, just a yardstick. So it's what you can buy from Home Depot or Lowe's. This is a great tool to use. You can use this in your living room, basement, wherever there's some carpet, to really groove in and practice your stroke. I highly recommend it. So it has a hole at the end that you can balance the ball on so the ball doesn't roll off. You just put it down. We'll put the golf ball where that hole is, typically for a nail. And then we're going to set up very similar to the chipping stroke. It's not a tall club, so we will be bending over just like we do in chipping. Feet are going to be about the same width. Again, we want to be consistent with being balanced and centered in our posture. So my arms are just going to hang. We talked about being relaxed, not adding any tension, so I don't want to tense my arms up. I'll get too robotic. I don't want my shoulders to hunch up. That's going to restrict a free-flowing stroke. So I'm going to place the club behind the ball, directly behind. I have a nice line. Most putters do. They're going to have a line on the face of the putter. You can see it right here. I'm going to line the ball up right in line with that. So the ball has to be in the middle of that line. So I'm going to get my posture again. My grip, you'll notice that I use left hand low. I want you guys to do your standard grip. So you're going to be right hand lower than the left for all right-handed golfers. Obviously, if we have left-handed golfers, then they're going to do what I'm doing. I'm not left-handed, but it's a form of technique to grip the club, which gets my shoulders a little squarer to the ground. I don't recommend to do this as you're beginning. So I'm going to go back to how you'll be doing it, right hand low. Again, feet nice width apart, ball just inside left heel, and I'm going to make my stroke along and hold that follow through. I'm going to try and roll the ball along the ruler. That one did it really well. What I'm trying to do is keep the putter moving back and through on a straight line. When I finish my stroke, notice my left arm is still moving. What I don't want to see is the breakdown where the right hand takes over. So just like in chipping, we want that left arm to continue to move. My posture, I'm going to bend over from the hips. I have a nice little flex in my knees, and my face is flat to the ground. Again, just let your arms hang, and then you're going to swing your arms. Notice that my body stays really still in this stroke. It's just my arms that are swinging. So it's very similar to chipping. We're going to use the same fundamentals that we use for both strokes. And when we do that, we've really anchored the full golf swing. All right, thank you so much.